Game resumed.
As we are diving into this and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the Chinese Terran player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. Your background? I'm so bad at changing my background. I apologize. Thanks for pointing that out, Sounder. Yes, thank you. Where is it? There we go. I have changed my background. Thank you. I do try to change it depending on the broadcast. I'm back in the space, back amongst the clouds. But we do have our ZVT here, our first semifinals of the morning of the day. And we'll see where we go from here, as Solar does go for a hatch gas pool opener. Very economic, very safe, very sound opener here from Solar. Likewise, Oliveira not doing anything crazy either, going for his racks back at home. He's not going for the Beyond build, he's not going for a 2 racks opener, instead just a singular racks into a CC. You love to see it. And this is why I think that Oliveira is going to have the he's going to have a good time against Solar, just because Solar isn't hyper aggressive. He doesn't typically go for roach play in ZVT. He doesn't go for these early pool timings either. He's relatively standard and passive in the early game, and I think that's going to be to the advantage of Oliveira. That's why he can struggle sometimes against some of the more aggressive Zergs like Dark or Scarlet or Serral. Even Serral recently, over the weekend. I don't know if you guys were tuning in last weekend. But we did cast Serral versus Oliveira, and Serral was, I think it was even in Kung Fu Cup, actually. Yeah, Kung Fu Cup, a couple of days there. Not even the weekend. But Serral was going for pool first. He was going for pool first openers. He was going for some roach timings off of 60 workers. Serral was just hyper aggressive against Oliveira, and Oliveira was having a hard time keeping up. But again, I think against Solar, he's going to have a better time. Is going to be able to get into his game, I should say. But we'll see. We'll see how this does turn out. Behind this, Oliveira is going for a 3cc opener. 3cc before Starport, so very economic coming out from Oliveira. Likewise, he's going to be trying to take down that tumor, but alas, is going to be pushed away by that queen. Solar just establishes his 2-3 base economy. And yeah, things will be settling down from here. I'm really curious to see what follow-up Oliveira has. I know Oliveira has been messing around with Raven openers as well. But with a... Oh, no! Solar! Oh. He killed the bird. Solar, please, not like this. He's heartless, Papi. Oh my god. The bird was doing nothing wrong, but Solar just focused it down with the queens. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I think we saw Cure do that last time. We saw a Terran player do that last time. Across the map. This time Solar. Shaking my head. I don't know if I can cheer for him anymore. As we do, or actually we are going into a Cloak Banshee follow-up here, so 3cc Banshee, as standard can be. Well, as, you know, efficient and economic. Nothing too crazy here from Oliveira. He's getting into his Hellion production for map control. Is going to be trying to slow down whatever creep he can. And keep Solar at bay, as Solar just saturated his third base. We do have the Overlord diving into the main, and we'll get eyes on everything. Gets eyes on the cloak because it's being researched, and also sees the 3rd CC timing. So he is fully aware of what Oliveira is up to. Meanwhile, across the map, Oliveira just dancing here with the queens, doing whatever they can to pick up whatever tumors as well. And Solo's going for a very nicely timed lair. You know, this was around a 4-minute 40 lair, which is pretty reasonable here from Solar. He isn't rushing into Evo chambers either, so he should be throwing down a Baneliness, and there we go, Baneliness is on the way. So Solar, this is like the most stock standard way to play ZVT as well. There are some players that like prioritizing 1-1, and they can go for faster double Evo chambers and delay their baneling. Oh, they're bailing speed. But we see that Solar, he isn't taking that risk. Like, he's just going to be going into that bailing nest, into bailing speed, and then after this, into the double Evo chambers. So nothing too crazy. Fourth base is on the way. Just some solid ZVT. There are those Evo chambers that we were talking about. Oliveira just, again, vying for map control. He's been very careful with his Hellions. He hasn't aped into a mineral line. He hasn't just YOLO'd in or anything like that. He's just, you know, poking, prodding, scanning. Not overextending with his Hellions. He doesn't want to throw them away. I think we have seen recently that Hellions can be very useful in the mid game to support the push, to support the 7-minute push with 1-1. As the Banshees do reveal themselves, they dip on in and they're going to be looking for some damage. I believe they got 1 drone so far. As they respect the Queens, they can't get too much damage, but they are pulling apart. They're pulling away the attention of the Queens and looking to open up an kind of an avenue of attack here for the Hellions. They do rotate on over, but there are more Queens here waiting for him. The Queens are everywhere, Poppy. They're everywhere. Oh. Aye, aye, aye. Just like that, Oliveira is kind of pushed away at every turn. The creep is getting towards the halfway mark at this point, so pretty solid creep spread here from Solar. But Oliveira is getting ready for that 1-1 timing. Still just over halfway done. Oliveira is actually going to be reinforcing already, so this is a bit of an earlier push here with his first tank. Now, this is a little bit scary. He can't afford to lose said tank. He's looking to establish his position here. He has cleaned up quite a lot of this creep. He's going to be laying siege upon this army. The medevacs are already out. Tank just laying siege upon the third base as well. Bailing speed still not done. It does finish up. Does Oliveira have enough to really sustain this position here? As there we go, 1-1 is about to finish up here in the midst of this assault. Solar getting ready to potentially give up this base. Spinning towards the south, sorry, towards the north. And this is why you want to be keeping the Hellions alive. The Hellions do morph into Hellbats, and any kind of link surround coming in from behind is going to be completely shut down. Like, this tank is so well secured. But that isn't going to be stopping Solar. He's getting ready for that surround. Here we go, the Queens, they move on forward. The Ling Bane as well. There's only that one tank, and even though the Hellbats have arrived, it's not going to be enough. Solar cleans up this army. He saves his third base. Oliveira does drop into the main, but doesn't really have too many Marines left over. Oh, as I say that, I spoke too soon. He has more than enough Marines here to dive into the mineral line. 10 drones go down, a Queen as well. Very nice pickoffs here from Oliveira. At the same time, the Banshees are kept alive. They get a gas geyser. They're not going to get too much more than that, but I believe they did delay. They did deny this fourth base. This would be fifth. Oh no. Bit of an overextension from Oliveira. He does lose one of his Banshees, but well worth it. You know, he canceled the fifth. He got a kill on a gas geyser. And he is reinforcing. He only lost one tank. Remember that. Like, it wasn't the most committed push from Oliveira. He didn't have the most amount dedicated to it. And now the pressure is on. This is all a setup, as there's very little creep here already. Oliveira has control of this portion of the map, laying siege, pushing on forward. Banshee once again looking to deny that fifth base. Solar getting ready for another surround. He's coming in from behind. Oh my god, but the Queens, they're kind of body blocking the Bailings. The Bailings are all going to be going down. Aye, aye, aye. One tank fell, but the other did survive. Solar very quickly coming in from behind. He's going to be able to just barely pick off that tank. But it did feel like the Queens were hurting and they weren't helping. The Queens are being focused down one after the other. Bailing does kind of connect, but this was a very good trade from Oliveira. Oh. He even focuses down the Queen towards the end, and GG gets called. And Oliveira will take game number 1. Oh, just such a good fight taken there. Those tanks were insane. Again, the Bailings, there was like a wall of Queens. There was a wall of like 8 Queens, and the Bailings just couldn't get past. The Ling Bane just couldn't squeeze past. Oh. And despite the surrounds, Solar just couldn't clean it up efficiently enough. On top of that, again, there were kind of like multiple phases or layers to that push. The first push, even though it didn't kill the fourth, oh sorry, kill the third even. That was the fourth base. Even though it didn't kill the fourth, it was at least denying creep. You know, there was very little, if any, creep towards the southern portion of the map. So much easier for Oliveira to just push on forward and take advantage of that area. Just like that, he takes game 1. GG. I see the chat. The bird insulted his mother. Oh, the bird insulted Crank, Poppy. It insulted Crank. Ay. You don't mess with family, Pop. You don't mess with some of the other onside players. Solar has shown us that. So we're getting into our next game. Prevent. See, Oliveira, he was doing it for the bird, Pop. He was doing it for the bird. But a really solid push there from Oliveira. Really solid build as well. But that's kind of one of the advantages of that map, specifically of Babylon, because you do have that high ground right next to that triangular third base location. So it can be difficult to hold on. But Solar is looking to have potentially an easier time here in his next map. It is going to be Gresvad. A larger map, a more open map as well. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresvad, we have the Chinese Terran player, the reigning world champion representing CranKy Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresvad, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming. It is Solar. The mana hatch from last week is still living rent-free in my head. Ay. Not like this, Papi, not like this. You know, Maru and Solar, they were showing that, you know, even though they can be kind-hearted at times, they are willing to just turn on the violence. At any moment, Papi, at any moment. But again, a really good showing from Oliveira on Babylon. Again, just making great use of the map and great control as well. You know, I don't want to just fully put the onus on that one push for Oliveira, but it was even the drop play as well, if you recall. After the first push was being cleaned up, he just picked up, he went into the main base, and he got 10 worker kills. He got a queen as well. That all does add up. Like, at this level of play, we can't be losing 10 drones to a drop. Like, that is almost unacceptable damage. On top of that, we had the multi-pronged aggression of the Banshees. Remember, the Banshees, they were denying the 5th base time and time again, so the larva was quite limited for Solar. The economy as well. Because he didn't have the 5th base, he couldn't give up the triangular third. Otherwise, he potentially could have, like, you know, Maynarded the workers away, and he could have maybe just given up the hatchery. There's kind of a lot that added up in that game, and yeah, again, really well done by Oliveira. But now we're getting into game number 2, and Oliveira gonna be a little bit greedy here. He's going for a reactor first. My God, no Marines, no Reaper. No SCV Scout either. Once again, Oliveira, he doesn't care what Oliveira's up to. And again, I do think that this is a really smart way to play against Solar. I do think that, you know, I do think that this is maybe unwise to do, or it can be sometimes difficult to pull off against a player like Dark, just because they can be so willing to go into roach openers. But Solar, not so much. So Oliveira just being a little bit greedy, not really scouting, rushing into a mass amount of Marines early on. Solar, upon confirming that, hold on, the Reaper's not here. That's weird. There is no Reaper, so we're going to be sending our firstling across the map to scout, and he should get eyes on the timing of the CC and also on the Marines back at home. Again, Solar just getting confirmation. Does get eyes on the factory as well, which is very important. So with seeing that factory, he knows it's not going to be a 2-on-1, or he knows it's not going to be a 3-racks either. So very crucial information was gathered by that one ling. Shout out to our fallen soldier. as we are getting into a 1-1-1, which is interesting as well. I'm really curious to see how this pays off. We do see Oliveira just sharking around looking for some overlords. This is almost looking like maybe a Hellbat push, because we're not stopping marine production. We're making a medevac as well. This is really, really weird from Oliveira. This is going to hit at a really awkward timing, and Solar's in the middle of droning. He's droning, he's making queens, which is fine. Like, if you have like 8 queens, you can defend against this, but I am a little bit concerned because Oliveira is purposefully hiding his units, banking up more Hellions, more Marines. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an armory behind this. And this is designed to hit quite hard. Here we go. The Marines are being sent out across the map. We do have Hellions out as well. Solar does have a decent amount of lings, to be fair. He's actually making quite a lot of lings just to be safe. So, again, Solar looks like maybe he's played against this before, just accurately reading the situation. As they drop his head towards the main base, the Hellions are headed towards the natural. Queens are here. They are in position. The Hellions, they do run past. They're going for the mineral line. Up! Ooh, the Eva chambers were not thrown down in time. A lot of drones are going to be going down. The lings are distracted and the drop comes in. The Marines do head straight into the main base. They're going to be able to catch an Overlord. I don't really know what else they can get though. Yeah, they are forced to pick up 6 drones going down. Not too bad though. A great amount of damage already from Oliveira, and he's not done. He dives back in. Oh my god. 8 drones in total and 2 overlords. Supply blocking Solar. Oof. And what did he lose? He lost Hellions, but we can afford to lose Hellions. Like, depending on what kind of build we're going into, like, they don't really have too much more usefulness as the game goes on. He wants another. He's gonna get another 3 overlords. My god, it's crazy. Oliveira's gonna race back home. As all this has been happening, Solar has just been attempting to recoup his losses, just droning as hard as possible, trying to recover all those dead workers. His lair is on time. He's gonna be working on bailing speed as soon as the bailing nest is done as well. But this is a pretty successful start here for Oliveira. The downside, of course, because he threw away all those Hellions, he doesn't really have a way to stop the creep thread. Like, the creep is getting a little bit out of hand. And Oliveira just has to accept that and back off. But now we're going to be hitting a pretty interesting follow-up. Once again, earlier than normal. This is going to be hitting at 6 minutes 30. We have Stim. 1-1 is still a ways off, and we actually don't really have any tank support or mine support, but the Marines are rushing on forward, and yeah, the Bailings aren't ready for this. I mean, Bailing speed just barely started. Uh-oh. Marines, they Stim on forward. The Lings are trying to do what they can to force back the army. A Queen does get focused down. Oh, the stutter step. In that fight, we got 2 Queens and 8 Lings and an Overlord for 5 Marines. Well worth it here for Oliveira. He's going to be rotating on over towards the top right, where our base is just about to finish. Still no bailing speed, bear that in mind. Mine production has commenced, so it is going to be bio mine this time from Oliveira. Much more flexible army. And with that, yeah, we're going to be able to get into the follow-up here. I mean, Oliveira, again, pretty solid. He is going to be going into a 4th CC behind this, so he's not going for any kind of 3-base 8 racks or anything like that, but just keeping the pressure up. Solar has been able to recover for the most part. You know, he's on 4 bases. He's got 77 workers. But it's still like, it still feels like he's on the road to recovery here, as Oliveira's going to be pushing on forward. Mines burrowed behind this. To have that double drop slipping into the main base is spotted by Solar. He's ready for it. Oh my god. This medevac's getting so low. I love it. The tri-pronged aggression. We have a mind drop slipping in towards the fourth base. Do we have a reaction? We don't. Solar. Ah. 7 drones that go down, and now Oliveira can focus on his main assault. He has that double drop headed towards that third base. He's going to be target firing 2 of those banelings down. A lot of damage being done. A lot of creep is receding. Those mines, oh, they're going to reset. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close to the mines. It looks like they will barely, at least one of them is going to be cleaned up. Up. Oh. They both go down just in time. Oliveira not slowing down. Another mine goes off. Decent connection on the Link Bane. Just really efficient trades here from Oliveira. Behind this, he's getting his fourth base on location. He's still continuing on with the multi-prong aggression. Still have that double drop towards the south. Main army pushing through the center. Solar, he's trying to get into lurker production. Bold move here from Solar. That means a lot of resources are going to be spent on Hydras, on tech. Less so on Link Bane. But Solar is close to maxing. And here we go. Solar trying to push on forward. We have a minefield set up. We have a tank as well. Oliveira actually going to be headed towards the south instead. Going to be threatening that base. A couple of Marines do get picked up, but the double drop does head into the main. At the same time, a drop here towards the fourth base. Ooh, Solar's main army is being pulled apart. And Oliveira can take advantage of that. He's pushing through the middle of the map. He's setting up here on the low ground, denying any kind of mining here in the middle base. But the Lunker Den is done. Solar can commence Lunker production. And that will change everything. Setting up a couple of lurkers here on his fringe bases, he will be able to hold on. There we go. Groove Spines is on the way. The hive is done. Like, even though Solar has been taking some losses, he has been doing a great job at teching and surviving. That's all you need to do. Throughout all this, Oliveira has been left at home to his own devices. Like, he hasn't had to deal with any kind of run bys because Solar has just been so pressured by Oliveira to keep everything back at home. Just because of the constant drop play. But now he has a little bit of freedom. He's going to be going for a Ling Bane run by that is spotted by these mines. Oliveira, he sees, he knows. He's already here. Run by won't accomplish too much. Meanwhile, again, barely any creep here in the middle of the map. Solar backs off, but he could set up for a surround. Ooh, yeah, Solar tries to dive on off of creep, but that is not going to be the best of ideas. Oliveira focusing down a lot of these active creep tumors. Up! Oof. There's a couple more good mine shots go off. Oliveira just pushing forward even further. We do have that minefield looking to reset. They're protecting him from the surround. Oh no! As here we go, Solar is going to try and push it forward. The Vipers have arrived. We do have those lightning clouds on the tanks. And it looks like Solar has enough. He swallows up the army. He breaks on through. Solar has the momentum. It took him a while, don't get me wrong. But with the power of those Vipers, he's able to go for this massive counterattack. Oliveira lost everything. He was fighting on a knife's edge. The Banelings detonate in the mineral line. 19 workers go down. And suddenly, just like that, Oliveira is on the back foot. Oh. He was doing so well for himself, like doing so well, like catching all the run bys, keeping up with the creep spread at least. But Solar, his drone count was left untouched. He's up to 91 workers. He's got a decent base count as well. Doesn't have too much of a map presence, but he doesn't need it. He's maxed. He is maxed out. Oliveira, we've been here before. He's gonna try to turtle. We've got CCs all over the place. We've got Liberator showing up, tanks as well. His goal here is to slow the game down, turtle up, and look to max out. boy. Can he pull it off? There are just so many different attack paths here on Grass Farm. We can see Solar bypassing the center base, gonna maybe try to threaten the left-hand side instead, but here we go, he pushes through the middle. The SCVs are not gonna be pulled away. The Banelings, they find their connections on the mineral line, on the base itself. The planetary goes down, 16 SCVs, and Oliveira, he just cannot remax from here. Solar has so much momentum. He was up against the wall earlier. He was on the back foot. One good fight is all he needed. And because of these economic losses, Oliveira can't remax. Like Solar, he can just remax time and time again, and he can just keep on rolling in. And just keep on rolling forward. And yeah, this planetary is going to be going down, and GG gets called. Oliveira will be tapping out, and Solar ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. A really strong start from Oliveira. Really impressive play overall. You can even see Oliveira keeping up in the army supply as well, but it did come down to one big fight. You can even see it here, where Oliveira plummets, and so does Solar, but nowhere near as much. Again, it was a better fight for Solar. From that moment, Oliveira just couldn't keep up. Oh, GG. I say that it comes down to the fight going his way, and immediately after that fight, Solar, he counterattacked and he killed he destroyed a mineral line. Like he did more than kill the army. He quickly crippled the economy as well, in one fell swoop. So GG, well played. Now we have game 3. Final map. Oh. Meanwhile, it looks like the other series has already ended. Oh my god, that was a fast one. The upper semifinals has concluded. Hero did 2-0 Gumiho, and Hero is waiting in the grand finals. Shout out to Gumiho. Again, he is a very strong Terran player in his own right in South Korea, but he could not hold a candle to the might of Hero. Does tap out, and Hero is waiting for the winner of this series. Whether it's a Terran or a Zerg, he's going to wait for one of them. No mirror matchup finals. No PvP. No PvP. We are diving into this. It looks like our players need a moment before they can begin. Un momento. Six and 9 viewers. Nice. Let's go. Let's go. Full map vision still faked out by Oliveira's build. Yeah. I mean, it was a really peculiar opener from Oliveira. I mean, it did a lot, to be fair. It did do a lot. Very nice to see. Very nice to see. We are looking to dive into our next game. Into our ace match. Oh, let's go. Hold on, just setting some stuff up. Don't worry, don't worry. It's all good. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Chinese Terran player representing CranKy Gaming, the reigning world champion. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Onside Gaming, It is Solar. Fighting back, tying up the series at 1-1 in that last game. Whew. And he bring it back again. I mean, to be fair, like Gresvan, again, because it's so open, it can lead to some pretty intense engagements. As that was a little bit awkward. And there was a lot going on. Did the SCV reveal itself to the, I don't think it revealed itself to the Overlord, but I think it may have, as Solar is looking. No, Oliveira, not like this. The Rax has been spotted. I'm pretty sure this Overlord did see the SCV as it like dipped in and then backed off. And because of the RNG, this is actually going to finish. I believe this bunker will complete. Oh my god. Whew. No! The Rax will not complete. Thankfully, we do have a second SCV showing up. The Rax will be able to finish up. But again, Solar was able to slow it down, able to confirm it, kill an SCV. And we'll see how this goes. Is this a Bunny build? I didn't get to watch Bunny in GSL Secret. Big build, a gay build? Is that what that means? Is it a big gay build? Hero Marine? As we have a singular Rax, we have the CC back at home, gonna be walling off into a factory, into a second Rax. Okay. Huh. Now, obviously, this is designed to do more damage if it wasn't scattered, obviously. The first Reaper has arrived, looking to dance here with this army, but the Lings are already here. And, yeah, as a result, this first Reaper isn't gonna be able to do too much. Oh, I spoke too soon. One drone goes down. A little bit of miscontrol from Solar, maybe a little bit of overconfidence as well, as he does lose a couple too many units to this first Reaper. Now, does that make it worth it? Not really. I mean, so this tells me that the add-ons are delayed for Oliveira, as we have our reactor on the way on the factory. We're getting into a 1-1-1 follow-up, not a 3cc build here, so not going to be economic. Going to be more aggressive instead. We actually have we have one Reaper on the field here for Oliveira, and we have nothing but add-ons on the way, so this is a little bit risky, but I mean, I guess that's why we have the CC on the high ground, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to defend it. As we are going immediately into our third CC after this. Okay. Huh. Are we gonna go into a Raven? I kind of want that. But no, okay, we're going into a Banshee instead. We're going into a pretty standard setup here in a peculiar way. I kind of wish that we got to see what would have happened if it didn't get scattered. I would have loved that. I'm sure Oliveira would have made more Reapers than just one, but alas, he could only squeeze out one in the end. As League Speed is done, the Overlord dives into the main base, gets eyes on the 1-1-1 on the 3cc. Gets all the scouting information that Solar could hope for. Oh, but the Hellions have arrived, and they are not going to be able to get more volleys on those drones. Both Hellions go down. Up. And so will the Reaper. Meanwhile, yeah, this is kind of what I expected out of Oliveira. So it's going to be a Banshee first into Raven. So Oliveira has been playing around a lot with Ravens. That's why I assumed it would be a Raven first. But I kind of appreciate this. He's going to just be committing into the first Banshee and just delaying his Raven a little bit more. With this, he's going to be looking for some economic damage. I'm still on the fence about whether I like Raven play in this situation. Oh my god, the Banshee barely survives. The goal here obviously is that the Raven is going to be able to help clear up a lot of this creep, but there are just so many queens out anyway. Like I don't know how much of a difference it really makes. And sure, we can throw down an auto turret, but we can always back off. I'm still not sold on this idea. I'm not sold on it. But, you know, maybe Oliveira can make it happen. Like, there's a reason why he does this. 'Cause it works, I'm sure. He picks up a couple of tumors. He saves some scans. Queens keep up, and they're going to be able to throw down and respread that creep. They should be able to. There we go. As the Hellions rotate over once again, I think what I really like about this Raven, if it survives the mid game, and it should survive the mid game, the early game, what I really like is the Raven in conjunction with Marine drops. Like, you can clear up a lot of creep. You can go to town on the map with one Marine drop and a Raven. Just because you can like boost and you can like hop between, and you can use the terrain to your advantage as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we do. As behind this, we're just setting up multiple Raxes as well, getting our third base up and running. More tumors being cleaned up, and I guess this just keeps Solar really busy with his queens. You know, more annoying than anything. Expends a lot of energy. As more tumors are being spread. Behind this, a pretty standard setup. We have Baneling Speed on the way, 1/1 as well. Macro hatch. Ling Bane is going to be coming out from Solar, as to be expected. Just pure Ling Bane. And I think because of the opener as well, because of the delayed add-ons and the delayed production, you know, we've hidden past the 7-minute mark at this point. Solar is amassing an army just in case there was a move out, but there isn't, so Solar is going to be free to drone at this point. Solar's free to take a 5th base, double expand if he really wants to, and a drone up to 80. This is what I was talking about. Like, the Hellions are kept at home, and now the Raven is joining the medevac drops instead, just to clear out creep even faster. And yeah, like, this does look neat out of Oliveira, definitely. But I mean, Solar is still free to drone, and now we've got an Infestation Mid on the way, got our Hive on the way next. At a certain point, Oliveira will be moving out, but until then, like, Solar has a lot of map control. And it's looking to be Ling Bane Hydra. Could be into Lurker play as well, if we really want to. Can get into those Lunkers. Again, Oliveira just being as active as possible, just trying to fight for that map control. But Solar's maxed. Like, this, there's a reason why, like, I'm not as optimistic about this play here from Oliveira, because, you know, he's being cute. He's like vying for map control. He's turtling up on these 3 bases. I think taking a 4th base is going to be a tough ask for Oliveira. We should be seeing a 4th CC soon. He does have all of his gases taken. But he's still only on 5 Raxes. Interesting. Yeah, so he stays on a bit of a lower production, still doesn't have a 4th base. It's going to be moving out with a pretty hefty army, to be fair. Look at how many tanks he has. He's got 7 tanks. That is a thick and juicy army here from Oliveira. Is pretty committed with this. Going to be pushing onto creep. Anti-armor missile is going to be fending off Solar for the time being. We do see Solar going for a massive Ling Bane counterattack instead. Oh, and he's just going to be forcing Oliveira all in. Like, he was already committed, but now just even more so. Oliveira trying to force his way up into the natural. The frames, they're dropping. There's just so much Ling Bane. And here we go. We're looking to rush on forward, but no, the tank count is too damn high. Again, 7 tanks, 8 tanks here for Oliveira. Another anti-armor here on the right-hand side. But here we go. We're just racing on forward. The Lings are diving on top of the tanks. The Banelings are rushing past to try to get on top of these Marines. Position is still strong for Oliveira. And did Solar just push in a little bit prematurely? It looks like Oliveira, he's breaking on through. His tank count is still insanely high, and Solar, I don't think he can break this. He's catching some reinforcements, which is nice. But the Bailey Nest is about to go down. We're taking up into Ultras. Oh, we're thinking a little bit too far ahead. Once again, Solar going for another run by. Trying to catch reinforcements. I would have liked to surround instead. As the tanks are now wedging themselves in between all these bases. Natural goes down. No more Bailey nests. Oliveira throwing down bunkers here as well. And I think he's done it, to be honest. I think this is too much. If Oliveira wants to, we can break into the main. Especially in like a pre-set up position like this, Solar can't really fight, and yeah, he's being forced to expand outside and head towards a gold base. He has to respect this army. The tanks are on siege, and he's pushing on to creep. Solar has been working on his army. He does have ultras on the way. As once again, we have another anti-armor missile. The reinforcements are hitting the gold base. Oh, Solar's being pulled apart. The ultras are coming out. They don't have kindness plating, Bapi. Oh, here we go. This is going to be close. Solar is first going to be cleaning up the tanks here towards the north. They are all going to go down. Solar loses another base. He doesn't really have any mining. He has a gold, and that's it. One mining base remaining. Oliveira, likewise, has a mining base as well, kind of. And here we go. Solar's coming in from behind. He's coming in from the front. Good bathing connections on the Marines. But we still have so many tanks behind this. The tank count was too damn high. GG gets called, and Oliveira with a 3 base all in. No fourth, no additional Raxes. It was so committed, but the tank count was so damn high. GG. Well played. Oliveira takes the series 2-1. Oh. Aye. 8 tanks, Papi. 8 tanks. GG. I was a little bit concerned with how long it would take Oliveira to get into the natural, but it didn't take him too long at all. Like, I think he knew that he was a little bit rushed for time, and that he had to wedge himself in between the bases as soon as possible, and he was able to get there in time. Solar didn't really have an army to really deal with the pre-sieged army of Oliveira. GG, well played. I do think that the counterattack was made plenty of sense for Solar. I think going for the run by did make so much sense. But if you remember, when he did finally try to collapse on all those tanks, he didn't come in from behind. He didn't go for the surround. He came in from 2 forward angles, which is so much easier for the Terran to work with. Maybe a little bit of impatience out of Solar, maybe. As Oliveira takes it in the end. GG, well played. Oh, he moves on to the grand finals. And with that, we have a TVP. We do have that TVP we have all been waiting for. Just switching our scenes over, we can have a look at the run that all these players have been going on. Again, Oliveira versus Solar was pretty close. Outside of that, a lot of 2-0s today. A bit of a shorter cast. A lot of 2-0s have been going on. But hopefully the finals won't be one-sided.